Behind every successful man, there is a woman, and that actually is mother. Mother is the first role model for a child. A woman doing everything what a man does. But the problem is, man cannot do what a woman can. Behind every successful man, there is a woman, and that actually is mother. Mother is the first role model for a child. Touch and milk, these two are very important for a growing up child. The best food for a child for an infant in this world is mother's milk.
Hi, welcome to KC Talks. I was raised by my mom. She was not a working mom. So she took care of my nutrition, she took care of my well being, the moral fabric in and around the family. I was nourished by my mother. Let us understand from Dr. Sahadev Swami what it takes a mother to raise a child. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So you spoke about this in the past that moral fabric of any nation is its real development, and you also told this point that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
So I got this idea from what you have spoken to me in the last podcast. But we see today there are a lot of challenges. In my generation at least, we have seen moms giving us a lot of attention, food, nice food, well-being, so handling so many of our tantrums. But I don't see that happening with my kids at least, and the generation that is coming now. So I want to understand from you whether we are progressing in a good direction, wrong direction. Where exactly is this progress taking us?
Well, child rearing, bringing up a child is a full-time job.
Or it can't be a part-time?
It's a full-time work actually. There is not only for mom, but children. These are official studies. Children need grandparents. There are studies where children have access to grandparents. Children need other association of other close family members. So that therefore the Western saying is it takes a village to raise a child.
Okay.
So when we have this core families now, or single parent families even, and where both the parents are working, so somewhere down the line there is some compromise.
Okay.
When child rear, this work is, everybody would agree that a mother is best suited to take care of the child.
Yes.
Maids or other nannies actually cannot replace.
Babysitters,
They cannot replace a mother's role.
okay.
They can assist. So there are fundamental issues today in today's situation, wherein actually morning a mother leaves home, come back tired in the evening. Technically it's called double guilt.
What is double guilt?
Double guilt is that I am not doing justice to my family and I am not doing justice to my work.
Okay.
So there is guilty feeling in working moms,
Okay.
that I could have done better for my family, or I could have done better in my job.
Okay.
They kind of torn apart. So this has been actually a quiet revolution. Women folks joining the workforce.
Okay.
This has been one of the quietest revolution our civilization has seen actually.
You mean to say it is a quietest revolution?
Quietest revolution when actually women have actually come out of the home. So this is a very valid point, that actually whatever a man can do,
Hmm.
a woman can do.
Hmm.
Like, flying an airplane.
Yes.
I remember in childhood, we flew as kids, It just, women pilots didn't exist.
Oh,
There is no such thing as women pilots.
okay.
Today women are driving trains,
Hmm.
and women, crew, women pilots now is more common.
Yes.
As common as male pilots. So,
Yes.
so I would say it is not a question of women can do everything what a man can. Of course, both are human beings. You
Yes.
can do. But the question is what the man cannot do,
Hmm.
which a woman can do. That's the question should be asked.
Beautiful.
That should be the question, what the man cannot do.
Hmm.
And that is the task of the role of a mother.
Hmm.
That a man can never do. It begins with conceiving a child, nurturing a child, birthing a child, bringing up a child.
Hmm.
So that a man cannot do. And that's the most important question that needs to be asked. What a man cannot do.
Hmm.
So now if this a woman doing everything what a man does, but the problem is man cannot do what a woman can.
Yes.
So then you have a problem at hand.
Hmm. Nobody speaks about this.
Yes, there is, that okay, everything, equality, concept of equality.
Hmm.
All said, all done, at the end of the day, both sexes are equal
Hmm.
in terms of, both are human beings, everything. But the problem is, as I said, motherhood.
Hmm.
Man is inadequate in that department. A man cannot conceive a child or cannot bring up a child,
Hmm.
cannot give birth to a child. So that's a problem.
A father can never replace a mother.
Yes, that's a point, that mother has her role,
Hmm.
a father has his role,
Hmm.
and they are irreplaceable.
Superb.
So when you have got, so this mothering is actually, for a survival of civilization.
Hmm.
This is definitely a sacrifice. This is a great sacrifice.
Okay.
And this was for the sake of humanity, for this, in the service of God, in the service of nation.
Hmm.
Actually, this continuation of civilization, so a great role have been played by women.
Hmm.
And now in the last 50 years, 70 years, we have seen after the World War II
Hmm.
that some degeneration of the human race.
Mhm.
So you see, if you see, like they say, behind every successful man
Hmm.
there is a woman,
Yes.
and that actually is mother. Mother is the first role model for a child, of a child.
You're the first person whom I heard this, that role is a mother. We all
Well,
saw in movies that the role is played by either a wife
or a girlfriend,
or
or
a girlfriend
whatever.
or a lover.
But the first woman in any person's life is actually his or her mom. So mom is the first role model, first guru. And that's where, there was a lot of, in traditional societies, motherhood was a very valuable, a lot of value was assigned to this task and to
Okay.
the carriers of this task. You know,
Okay.
in Dr. Price went around the world from 1931 to 1939 or whatever, and he saw how actually these great communities around the world, in the remotest corners, they were paying value, they were paying attention to this task of motherhood.
Okay.
For example, he went to Maasai's,
Mm.
and in a decade their size had reduced as just industrial foods were coming in at that time slowly. So there those who were partaking of white sugar and modernization, their size had come down to new generations by 6 inches to 1 feet. In one generation he saw the decline. It's
The
there
Maasai-
in his book, in
in the
Maasai
Maasai tribe.
community.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the decline in size.
Okay.
So their tradition he studied was, when the children came up of marriageable age,
Mm.
they were put on a special diet
Okay.
before getting married.
Mm-hmm.
When they were married, they were on another diet,
Mm.
because then once you are married, there will be conception,
Yes.
and once the girl conceived,
Mm.
she was on another diet,
Okay.
and after birthing, when she was lactating, she was on another diet.
Mm-hmm.
And care, there was a whole regimen of care.
Mm.
The idea is to produce, to have very, very excellent, a whole very, very excellent generation,
Healthy babies.
healthy babies who are healthy minds,
Mm.
and you see that over the centuries there not been degeneration, but with modernization, Dr. Price in 30s saw massive degeneration in communities wherever modernization was creeping in.
Okay.
So the idea is that how the butter was kept, when spring butter, when the cows would be grazing near the river side,
Mm.
that butter was kept for mothers who have conceived, or those who have, even men were put on special diet
Okay.
to preserve their sperm quality,
Mm.
to enhance their sperm. Where is all this today,
Nothing.
And there are so many. Now, talking of studies, how many studies. Actually, I did write a book on working mom and the rise of a lost generation.
Okay.
So the idea is that somewhere the loving aspect gets little bit neglected.
Okay.
When a mother is away from the child, somewhere down the line there is some, because that love, mother's love, is irreplaceable, as you said, by nannies or babysitters, or just not possible. So there was a study, it's all there on the Google, about the brain sizes of children
Mm.
who are loved
Mm.
and who are less loved.
Okay.
They are distinct, neurological. Their scans have been compared. So such drastic differences,
Okay.
So that love, that bonding, and touch and milk, these two are very important for a growing up child.
Mm-hmm.
The best food for a child for an infant in this world is mother's milk.
Yes.
So today, for working moms, it becomes very difficult. They have to wean the child, as soon
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
Because when you are away for let's say 8-hour job and 2 hours of commute. So practically whole day you are out. So you have got to wean the child very early on, I have seen some mothers weaning their children, after a month or whatever, or even as early as 2 weeks.
Okay.
World Health Organ, WHO,
Hmm.
WHO says minimum 2 years.
Breastfeeding is required.
WHO.
Hmm.
And there are hundreds and hundreds of studies how the children who are breastfed for longer period,
Hmm.
actually what kind of brain development and their health and future immunity, so many there happens when they are actually breastfed for sufficient time.
Yeah. I encountered a situation in somewhere in Maharashtra a few years back, where a 45 years old man have told me that he drank his mother's milk till his 6 years or something like that. It was like I felt it is pervertish actually. I couldn't even relate to that. I thought it's very.
Now, even in I've read so many news articles where 6-year-old babies are actually still latching on to their mother's milk, and they are very healthy, very bright. They are class apart. Those babies,
Hmm.
I saw in Daily Mail, .co.uk. You can
Yeah.
very nice. They sometimes the babies are very class apart there. You can immediately they are chirp, they are bright,
Hmm.
they are very active. It's just very different among the crowd.
Okay.
So it will be a very different class for those who brought up on mother's milk.
Okay. Very nice
So
information.
I was actually with some Americans and I was speaking on different topics, and we were talking about the books that we have done. And he said, "Can you call up your home?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Why?" He said, "Can you ask your mom how long you drank the mother's milk?"
Okay.
I said, "Why do you? What makes you ask this question?"
Hmm.
He said, we feel he was doing some kind of research,
Hmm.
and he felt that wherever he saw some some talent,
Hmm.
and he was trying to relate it to their being fed on mother's milk. He was
Okay.
trying to, that
Hmm.
was part of his experiment or research.
Hmm.
So anyway, when I called up and asked, I was like, for a long time, maybe at least 2 years, if not more.
Hmm.
So I felt, and I was very different as a kid in class. Always I was ahead of the entire class. I felt
Hmm.
physically also. I was like,
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean that I never bothered about this question. Then I went into this topic. It was very revealing actually.
Very nice.
So we have.
So, what according to you in an average today's woman, average duration? 3 months, 4 months, 6 months?
I doubt actually. I have no idea, but I doubt even that much.
Okay.
Because these things are not organized. Maternity leaves, it's not an organized field.
Hmm.
There are countries where they have their systems of paid maternity leaves, and I'm not at all sure, but I think it's not a very happy situation.
Okay.
And then there is a whole scam of these multinationals selling children formula,
Yeah.
unscrupulous marketing,
Yes.
and
Definitely.
paying doctors, pediatricians
Hmm.
to market their products.
Sure. 100%.
There is so much of they are laden with sugar. They are, it's just they want to make money out of that.
Yes.
But in mother's milk is pure, and of course they say pesticide. Because of so much of mother's milk is but that of course even when you even your formula will have that, because that's part of now nature, so that's a different thing. So this, what I am saying is that it should be accorded a high priority,
Yes.
So today, unfortunately, this is not a priority. Bringing up, actually, that's why there is negative growth. Most of the industrialized economies today, they have a negative population growth.
Yes.
So there are first of all, marriages are going off the market now, and then it's not a nobody wants to be bothered with
Yes.
children actually. So contraception is widely available. One can today avoid children. So governments are trying to take proactive steps in order to encouraging people. Even Chinese government now asking couples to conceive children.
Okay.
So countries are worried about the aging populations. So
one element of this entire thing that you spoke about, the well-being of a child, is one
Mhm.
subject of a working mother. There's also a family dependency, health of the entire family. The kitchens are completely outsourced either to cooks or to Zomatos and Swiggis. So what do you have to take about this?
yeah, actually, that's a very interesting topic, and we should talk about this very separately.
Okay.
What has happened is the cooking has been outsourced because our moms are very busy. Naturally, you got to work. So cooking has been outsourced to corporations.
Yes.
So corporations are cooking and corporations are delivering. So a mom cooks for the well-being of the family. That's her motive. A corporation cooks to make money.
Definitely.
A restaurant cooks, their prime concern is making money.
Yes.
They are not bothered about your or your family's health.
No.
So what has happened is there is that whole, you see, when you cook at home, the amount of sugar you will use, the amount of salt, the what kind of oils you are going to use, there is a whole. And when you outsource your cooking, it's just that. So there is now, the world has so many lifestyle diseases, obesity. You have got n number of problems because mainly Srila Prabhupada used to say, when you cook your own food, you can remain very healthy because you will cook, you will know what your body needs.
Yes.
So accordingly, you will use those ingredients. Your subconscious mind will dictate, body will dictate. So cooking simple food, own food, and the whole world has been like that. Today it's this, as they say, you are what you eat, but it's not true. You are what you ate. And a burger you ate a year back might be just sitting there. See, these are non-biodegradable practically. A lot of these industrial foods now.
Yes.
Person, after he forgot in his coat's pockets a burger, McDonald products. After 7 years, they look exactly same thing. After 12 years, same thing. Practically not biodegradable. Even worms don't eat these things. So that is a very important thing, and so that is a very important area.
From a health parameter also, this working moms, they play a very crucial role for the well-being of, of a kid, husband.
Well, there was by SOCHM, there was a study that how the working women are actually suffering from health issues.
Okay.
So there are pressures, and definitely there are some bodily differences. And what happens is there are the pressures at home and the work pressure, so double pressure. And there was a study, I have it, that was done, that was published I think 7 years ago, and it was a very extensive study in Indian context,
Okay.
that how the actually working women are suffering from disease,
Okay.
from health issues. So there are tangible issues,
But definitely you have covered a very important topic about raising a child and the moral fabric in and around it. Thank you so much for your insight on working moms. But we're gonna do one more on this.
Well, before I would feel that before we close,
Hmm.
there are some aspects which I think, probably I'm talking of, these are based on research papers.
Yes.
Just 2-3 points, I think. You see, even children who are loved or taken care, the health part, slimmer. For example, children in a double parent families, this I am talking researches.
Okay.
Were published, reviewed, peer reviewed researches I am talking, from respectable journals.
Okay.
Compared to single parent family, children from single parent, double parent, they tend to be slimmer,
Okay.
because mother has more time to cook and love, whatever. In general, there is a question of, slimmer. Antidepressant usage in children is very common in developed economies, developed nations.
Okay.
So that also, when there are children get more attention, the usage is lower usage.
Okay.
So that is another thing. Then another problem is, there was an extensive study published in Britain,
Okay.
how the nursery children who are coming 5 or 6 years olds, they have no nappy training. That's what you call, right?
Yeah.
They don't know, they are in diapers. They don't know how to use toilets. No nappy training. They don't know how to talk. And in their lunch box, it's just one sweet something sugary item and couple of one white bread, So governments are actually horrified. They don't know why they are unable to talk, is nobody is actually talking to them. Parents or single parent, whatever, they go away. By time they are waking up, Prabhupada spoke about that, our founder, way back in 60s.
Okay.
He told about a boy, when he was 10 years old, Mumbai. He woke up and he found a man in his house. And he asked, "Who are you, sir?" He says, "I am your father."
Okay.
So he said, the thing is, he never saw him. Because when he got up, the father had left home. And when he slept off, that time father came home. So imagine the same thing happening with the mother.
Got it.
So then so the talking is not happening. They are not, even their other bodily parts are not developing, because they are given, to avoid boredom, given their iPads and mobile phones. So only their fingers have developed. Other parts are underdeveloped.
The
Physical deformities have been reported. Then another England study happened was, the abuse of children on an industrial scale. That's a word used by in parliament.
Okay.
Industrial scale abuse.
Okay.
Thousands of teenage, minor girls by these Asian gangs were abused, industrial scale, thousands of them, all from broken families.
Okay.
Thousands of them, massive scale. But nothing practically was done. So now there are gangs of children from 6-7 years onward to 12 years, which are actually committing serious crimes. These gangs, all from single parent families, broken families. So you see, we are looking at a big problem, when loving, that love, the love in the home is lacking, So this is something which a human society cannot afford to replace.
Definitely.
That's the
Yes.
point.
So you told a very beautiful point, Swamiji. So in the course of competition between two sexes, this quiet revolution, you use this word quiet revolution, that women have found themselves equal to men professionally, but then they should also understand, and man should rather think about this, that he can never be able to replace what woman was doing all this while.
Actually, this is a misnomer or a misconception. Women have to be equal to men. Actually, their status is higher.
They're superior to men.
Yeah, superior to men. In trying to equate, actually, we are degrading the women's status.
Very beautifully said. In already somebody is at a superior platform.
Yeah, so there is no need to compete with them.
So to make them equal, they have actually come down.
Yes.
So definitely very beautiful insight on rearing children. So I wish so many women can prioritize this for the betterment of a brighter, healthier generation. Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.